But they saw me obsessed with this thing. Like they saw something different.
We had to relocate. It's a great weather, so we're outside right now. I'm gonna have him finish his story here.
So yeah. So I was just saying, like, when I started taking it really seriously, and I dive in like head first, then they started, seeing, okay, he's serious. He's no longer partying. He's always watching podcasts, real estate, blah blah blah. So, but how did I get my first deal? So my goal was, let me go get my first wholesale deal and prove that the concept is real. Because to me, I'm still hearing this through podcasts, YouTube, whatever, right? So I was doing this thing driving for dollars. That's all I was doing. And what I decided to do is, because I'm driving Lyft and I'm always taking on people in my car, I decided, you know what, if somebody jump in my car, and this, I learned this through a book. I forgot what book I was reading, and I learned about the 3-feet rule. And it talks about, if somebody is 3 feet away from you, do not let that person go away without knowing what you're into and what you do for a living, because it might be a potential, lead. It might be a potential referral. It might be a client. It might be a potential client, whatever. So that's how you build your network. So I decided, you know what, perfect for my Lyft and Uber, because when people jump in, I'm picking up people from all walks of life, right? Sometimes I pick attorneys. Sometimes I pick somebody that works at Chick-fil-A. It doesn't matter, right? But at the end of the day, we can have a conversation. When they jump into this back seat, head into, usually you can just spark a conversation.
Right.
And I learned really throughout my journey that you want to go to people with value first, because that's what people care about. Like, mainly they care about themselves first. So it's like, I decided, okay, I'm going to start by asking people about their day, where they're heading, spark a conversation, care about them first. And then I'm going to slide a real estate conversation in there, right? The goal for me was, because I was told to drive for dollars, I wanted also to ask, because you never know. Let's say I'm taking you on my Uber and Lyft, and we're driving, I'm taking you somewhere, right? Well, if you live in this neighborhood, you know the neighborhood, you've been driving in the neighborhood, so you surely at some point saw a vacant property. So my goal was to see if I can get a referral, right, on top of the properties that I'm driving. So every time you get in my car, I say, hey, and then they ask me my journey, and I'm like, I just quit my 9 to 5. Now I'm doing Uber and Lyft and doing real estate. And I was smart enough to where when I go to like appointments at properties, I always take videos of myself and stuff, walking properties. So I could show them literally in the car. Right. And by the time they leave the car, it's always like, interesting. Like, I'm not that regular Uber driver that you just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's how I got my first deal. I picked up somebody at BWI airport. He works for, I guess, the people that carry the luggages for the planes and stuff.
Right.
And so he hopped on my car, and I was driving him like 15 minutes away, literally 15 minutes away. And I asked him the question, right? I said, hey, with the conversation we were having, he explained to me his journey, everything, and I did the same. And then, that's interesting. So what type of real estate, blah, blah, blah. I was like, literally, I'm just looking for properties to renovate, put it back on the market, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hey, by the way, just so you know, soon I was about to drop him off, and he was about to leave my car. This was my line to every single person that get in my car that I was willing to respond to me. I always tell them, hey, do you know anybody in this area looking to sell a house? Or do you know if there is any vacant houses here? Because we pay for a referral if we end up getting the deal. People love referrals. This is why people is always looking for a side hustle.
Yeah.
I'm not making enough at my 9 to 5. Let me flip stuff on the side. Let me flip couches. Let me flip stuff on Amazon, right? Same thing for the referral. I'm like, hey, all the way from $2,500 to $5,000, if we get the deal, we'll pay you. That was my line, literally, to people. And so this guy, when I asked him the question, this is literally just me talking to somebody. Yeah. And this is really important. But I'm keeping a long story really short, because I really had to shift my mindset when I got into this real estate stuff and got really like super focused. I started understanding it's more about mindset than anything else. It has nothing to do with houses. I had to shift my mindset into, okay, what I'm actually looking for is for problems to solve. I'm looking for sellers that have a problem I can solve. Whether that be a problem with a vacant house or a house that is in foreclosure or they're going through divorce, whatever, but they gotta have a problem. So I asked the guy the question. I said, hey, before you get out, we pay a referral. Do you know anybody in this area that is looking to sell or a vacant house? I was like, well, listen, if you just drive straight, he said, not the first right, but the second right on your left, there is a house, and that house has been vacant for 2 years. Literally, he said 2 years. But I don't know the guy personally, but that's a vacant house. That's what you want, right? I said, yeah, that's exactly what I want. Thank you so much. And to this day, actually, I regret not getting his number because he would have been paid on that. I didn't know that would be my first check. This is just my daily routine. I keep calling, I keep marketing, I keep driving and finding properties. So I drive there from my car. I shut off my Uber app. I drive there and I pull up my deal machine app. Right? This property it was a single family with a little shed, and there was an abandoned truck literally on the driveway. So I pull up on the driveway there, pull up my deal machine, looked up the property, and I saw the owner's name, how long he've owned it, everything, like I told you earlier. And I literally went on truepeoplesearch.com on my phone right there on the spot.
Oh my gosh.
And then I started calling the guy. So I had about 5 numbers, and none of them worked.
Wow.
The last one that I dialed ended up working, and it was his daughter. So the house looked jacked. Like you could see through the windows is like a lot of squatters. You know how squatters break the window and everything, get into the houses because it's abandoned, nobody live in it. And the truck was abandoned too. And so you could see that this house is completely like destroyed, right? And so obviously this is a vacant house. So his daughter picked up, and I could hear him in the background literally asking her to hang up because he thought it was the bank. I'm gonna get into that story, but he thought it was the reason why he thought it was the bank. So I tell the daughter, my call. This is literally my call. At this time, I'm not even good at talking to people on the phone. I'm just trying to get my first deal, and I was given step by step. I'm lucky because I didn't graduate at school. I'm not an overthinker. I take action first, then I figure the mechanics. I don't need a website. I don't need a business card. Just tell me what to do. Just if you tell me to sit and call 40 people, I'm not gonna ask you what to say. I'm just gonna call 40 people. If somebody pick up, then I'll go, what do I say? Right? Because otherwise I get stuck. Oh, I need a contract. I need this. I need that. Right? Okay. So I called the lady. I said, hey, I'm in front of the property here. This is a 2033 New York Avenue. That's the address. And I said, listen, I'm in front of the property here, but it seems like you guys own it. Now, this is a girl. Obviously, I was looking for a guy, right? I was just trying to see if you guys are interested in selling. I learned this line by listening to podcasts, by the way, real estate podcasts. And she was like, that's my dad's house. But he's here, let me pass him. And I could hear him say, no, hang up. Because he thought it was the bank. Then I said, no, please tell your dad it's not the bank. We're really interested in buying the house. That's the only reason why I'm calling if he's interested in selling. And then he was like, oh, okay, give it to me. So he picked up the phone and he was like, hey, I don't own that house anymore. I said, what?
Who owns it?
I said, yes, you do own it, because that deal machine app that I'm telling you, there's so many apps out here nowadays. By the way, guys, don't overthink it. There's so many apps. There's deal machine, there's PropStream, there is batch leads. It's all depend on your preference. They all do the same thing. Don't overthink the apps. This is where people get stuck. Oh, what is that app again? It's not about the app. You can use whatever you want, okay? But the application is actually pulling the record from the public records, from the county. So if I see your name on the house, that means you still own it. If the bank own it, I wouldn't see your name. Okay?
Exactly.
So I said, no, I just looked up the public record. You actually still own the property. What makes you think you don't own it any longer? It was like, well, because I haven't been there for 2 years.
Wow.
I said, okay, so what happened? He said, well...
Pre-foreclosure?
No. So he had a business. He was a contractor.
Oh.
So he had a business, and that's where he ran his business. To the truck that was abandoned. But he fell while working, and he broke his back, and he was at the hospital for 2 years. Filed bankruptcy, everything. So he lost everything. And so when he got out of the hospital, he went to live with his daughter. And then he disconnected his number because the bank is hammering his phone, obviously. He's been behind, he hasn't paid the mortgage for 2 years. So that's a pre-foreclosure. But I didn't even know what the word pre-foreclosure meant at the time.
See, that part is new information to me.
Right. But guess what? I didn't know that information at the time. I didn't sit there and think, oh, okay, he's behind, what do I do? No, I just knew I've been told to find an ugly house and negotiate a price. I'm not overthinking this. This is the problem with people that finish school. I'm telling you, like,
is it coming from me?
You overthink
true, though.
everything.
It's true.
You overthink everything, right? It's like just
You want the details immediately.
right,
before you
but
figure
but the
everything out.
the details just get you stuck, and then you freeze and you don't take action.
Very true.
And so here's what I did. I told him, listen, you still own it, and I'm not the bank. And he was like, this is his line literally to me. He said, if you can do anything with it, Mamadou, it's yours. But I don't think you can do anything. I think the bank took it over. I said, no, because your name's still on the public record. I said, so if I can figure it out, you are okay selling it? He said, yeah. I said, listen, I will call, his name is John. I said, John, I'll call you back. Let me go. At this time, guys, I didn't know what the contract looked like. I didn't know what the title company is.
Oh my
How do you open escrow? When I say nothing, I swear to God, I didn't know nothing. Here's what I did. I went on Facebook, and I went Baltimore Wholesalers Facebook. Literally, this Facebook, I don't care where you live in the U.S. Every state, county have a wholesalers Facebook.
Yeah. It
Okay?
is.
You just join and you start
Yeah,
networking.
it's true.
I literally went there and made a post. I said, guy, I have a motivated seller. I need help like now. I said, I have a motivated seller. I need help like right now. Because I don't know what the next step is. What do I do now? So somebody reached out.
Big step too.
Big step. Now, an overthinker would have said, number one, here's the thing. Taking you back, when I found the property, an overthinker would have taken the address, drove home, put on their favorite T-shirt, right? Take a cup of coffee, and then sit down before the call. I called on the spot in my car. There's no overthinking this.
Yeah.
I'm getting the number. I'm calling right now. I'm not waiting, right? Because I don't know where the next opportunity is. So a guy named Brandon reached out to me. We actually closed this deal together. He reached out because he was one step ahead of me. And so when I explained to him the situation, he was like, oh, that's a pre-foreclosure, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, great, but what do we do? This I need to know. I don't care if it's a whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, just call him back and say we can negotiate with the bank. If he's okay with it, he's just going to need to sign some paperwork, and we can talk to the bank directly.
Wow.
We ended up negotiating that property, put it on the contract for $68,000, and guess how much I sold the contract for? Literally on I think we listed it on Facebook. Yeah, we listed it on Facebook and on Zillow as well. Guess how much I sold it?
I don't know.
As is, with all the pee inside, all the alcohol, all the need. As it,
Oh,
how do fix and flipper buy houses?
exactly.
They buy it as is.
Oh my God, this all.
You don't even have to clean the piss.
Oh my God.
They buy it the way. What are they looking at? They're just looking at, okay, I'm buying it for this price. If I put this amount to renovate it,
Wow.
I can make this profit in the back end. That's what they're looking at.
This is
They don't
genius.
care. You're selling it as is. And the beauty about wholesaling is that fix and flippers doesn't know. Most of them doesn't know how to wholesale. They don't know the way I found the deal. They have no clue how to do that because they don't know how to market. They're too busy going to hard money lenders and managing general contractors. They don't have time for this. This is why wholesalers make a lot of money, because you're the one who find the deals for the fix and flippers.
That's an important part, you know. Like,
Why is Amazon a $1 billion company? Maybe trillion now, I don't know. They're in the middle. They're just a middle person, right? They don't own the store. I mean, now they do, but like when they first started,
general, yeah.
they don't own the store. They don't own the products. They're just a middle person connecting the two and making a fee. That's what wholesaling is.
oh my gosh, this is just amazing. Like my mind is blown.
It's just like our mind is blown. Guess how much we sold that contract?
Let's say 100,000. Is that too low?
Hell no. We sold it for $159,000.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we locked it up for
Wait,
68.
this is your first one that you're talking about?
This is my first. Yeah,
Your first?
this is my first.
Oh my God.
We locked it up for $68,000, and we sold it as is. The contract. Remember, guys, I said when you wholesale, you're selling the contract.
Wow.
So I didn't fix anything.
cool.
I didn't clean anything. I only walked the property, took pictures, sent the pictures the way they are to the guy. He's a fix and flipper from DC. He literally drove from DC and came to see the property. He was like, I buy it.
So you found this fix and flipper. Did you already mention that part? Where you-
No, I'm gonna get into
Okay,
all of
okay,
that,
okay.
but we didn't. So we sold it for $159,000. So the difference between the 68 and the 159, that was our assignment fee. That was $68,000 to $69,000
I cannot.
on the first check, and I was making 32,000 euros.
How did you? This is crazy because like I'm imagining it. Like,
Yeah, honestly, the first check that I got in my hands,
What
I
were
think
you
I think it was not about the money, because for me the first deal,
Yeah.
I didn't care what the amount was. I don't care if it was
How
€1.
it worked.
I just wanted to prove the concept.
And
So it just ended up being a $68,000 deal, but that was not the plan. I didn't care what the amount was. Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
So when I got it, I literally told the title company. I remember when they called me, I was at a Chick-fil-A ordering food to say that we're closing. Because up to the closing and I got the check, I still didn't believe it. I still couldn't believe like somebody would buy this house with all the piece, everything in it.
Yeah.
And he's buying my piece of paper. I swear to God, I couldn't. And I'm like, I was working from 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. every single day to make 32,000 euros a year.
This is amazing.
A year, okay? And here I just made double of that on one freaking deal on an ugly house. It only costed me gas, because even the app, I didn't pay for it. And then the coffee that I bought in the morning when I was drinking, because I love coffee. I'm a coffee guy. By the way, if you got value out of this, send me coffee. I'm a coffee guy.
I got you,
right?
honestly.
But so when I got it, like they called me to say we're about to close. I said, listen, don't send me the I don't want a wire.
Why?
I want a check.
Yeah. You wanted to see.
Because I want to physically hold the check.
Yeah.
So I know.
This is
And I
real.
can also send pictures to my brothers, go and show them at the house. They know this is real. Because that was so important to me to prove to my family that this time I'm serious and I'm not wasting.
No,
Like
yeah, you're not
I'm
just
no
talking.
longer, yeah. Because at the time I just went through a divorce. My daughter was about to be born. So there's a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. It's like, okay, I got to get serious now. You know, and I know I got what it takes. It's just, as an entrepreneur, it's just you go through that phase, right? Until you find out one thing. But when they called me, I went there, got the check. I hold the check, went in my car, and
I would have cried.
I just broke up. I cried. That's exactly what I did.
I would've cried as well.
I cried, and then I made a video for my daughter, which I still have. She's 3 now, so I'm gonna show it to her when she's probably 4 or so. But I did a video for her. I said, "Baby, I wasn't wasting my time. This is real. I did it." Just talking about it right now, I could cry. I'm not gonna cry here.
No,
But anyway, this is
No, literally cry. This is like crazy.
No.
I genuinely thought this was fake.
here's how she knows that is not fake.
It's,
Because she was my notary on a virtual fix and flip that I just closed in Texas.
Yeah, and they
she's
know
the,
the
that's how we met. She's the notary. She came, we closed on it. I literally have the file in my backpack.
Trust me.
You know.
if you once you get the notary, that means it's real.
Right. So the reason I'm saying that, guys, is because now I have more experience, right? I've done a lot of deals.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I really want people to understand this, because when I first started, for me, it was so important for me because there's a lot of gurus out here, by the way, guys, that are completely fake. They have never done a deal, and they talk about all this real estate. But the thing I love about real estate is so easy to verify. You're a notary, so you understand this.
Right.
But like, if somebody tell you they're doing real estate, just ask them their HUDs. Where's your HUD?
Settlement statement.
The settlement statement, right? Some people call it HUD, some people call it settlement statements. That's why I love real estate, because you can pull up the address, you can see the entity. Like, if you pull up that property right now, 3023 New York Avenue is in Baltimore County. If you pull it up right now and you know how to go look at the public record, who sold it, when it sold, you're literally gonna see my entity that wholesaled it. You cannot lie in real estate if you know the questions to ask. Why am I saying that though? The reason I'm saying that is because, guys, when you first start, number one, focus is really important. Number two, by the time I got to this deal, just so you guys know, I had already been struggling to get my first deal 8 months prior. There's a whole 8 months that I'm saving you guys on this video, but we're gonna do a part 2, so maybe we can go into that. That I was just learning. I put a lot of properties under contract, and the numbers ended up penciling out, didn't work out. Lot of like people in my community making fun of me. I've cried multiple nights in my car thinking this is fake. Just so you guys know, so I'm not telling you here that this is a get rich quick scheme type. Is not the case at all. But if you put the work in and talk to people, I guarantee you this thing worked.
Yes.
It's baffling to me.
It's baffling to me.
It's baffling to me. So,
Wow.
but I also understood when I got that deal, when I really reflect on the deal, did I really get a house, or did I solve a problem, then I got a check and the house was just a result? Because here I'm talking to a guy who got sick, lost his job, filed bankruptcy, did literally have no phone because the bank is like literally hammering his phone to collect debt. By me solving that problem and taking all of that off of his shoulder, like literally, guys, this guy felt like we literally just gave him a new chapter in his life. So why am I saying that? Because if you want to get into real estate investing, guys, I want you to understand real estate investing have nothing to do with real estate. The result is real estate, but it has to do with problem solving.
Yes.
And that's what entrepreneurship is. You solve problems, you make money.
Yes.
So the thing about wholesaling is you find motivated sellers, you solve their problem.
Yeah.
And the problem, you guys agree on a number after you solve the problem, then you sell that contract for a fee. You can sell, whether that be, now I know creative finance. I wish I knew it. This is why I struggled for 8 months. Because sometimes you talk to sellers and the property is on the water, they owe a little bit too much on the mortgage, and just a cash offer just don't work. Luckily, this one was a cash offer. It worked. Right. But there's a lot of deals, a cash offer don't work, and now that's what I specialize in, creative finance. Is even if a cash offer don't work, we know how to buy, which you just helped me close on one, and I explained to you that. I wish we had that on video, but we can do a part 2 where we talk about just specifically creative finance. But to keep it short and simple, this is what wholesaling is, and this is how I got my first deal.
Yeah.
And my second deal was the same way, driving for dollars. It was $19,000.
Wow.
Third deal was $17,000, $500.
Wow.
All of them, when I say all of them, just driving in my car, spotting houses. Now I don't do it anymore. I have teams that do it for me because, I've been doing this for 3 years now. So I have a team, right? Not now I own a business, so, but when you first start, it's that simple, and people try to overcomplicate it because they're always looking for that one button where I don't have to do the work and I get the check. It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Like, you're going to have to be on the phones. You're going to have to text somebody. You're going to have to call somebody, and you're going to have to solve problems. And I promise you, this is the difference between the network that I'm part of and a lot of folks out here is like, if you really truly don't care about people, don't even get into this business. Because you genuinely have to care about solving people's problems, which I personally do. Genuinely care about. That's what I learned. Like, it was all mindset, not real estate. Because back then, I didn't even know what a granite countertop is. Yeah. You take these things for granted because you live in the house all the time, it's right? True, yeah. We all. But when I started making my calls, I realized I don't know nothing about a house. Yeah. I don't know what to ask.
It's true.
And so I had to learn all of those things. I had to get a script. We can get into all of that if you want, how you talk to people. We can do maybe 2 or 3 because it's a long conversation. But the bottom line, if you wanted to start today, me, if I have to go back day 0, and I'm starting today, literally pick. If you're in a market where it's a super small town, you probably don't want to do in that town because there's not a lot of activity. But if you're in areas where there's a lot of activity, like here, where are we here?
Holly Springs.
Holly Springs. This is probably Raleigh, right? Okay, Raleigh is a lot of single families and stuff, right? So here, for example, there is a way you can find literally the neighborhood where people fix and flip the most, literally online through it takes like 10 minutes. You find that out. Now you know which zip codes to drive in. You just go drive in the zip codes and find houses. Or literally you can go, there's applications, there's PropStream, Batch, whatever. You can go pay a $99 per month and pull a list of 10,000 people, 1,000 people, whatever, and then do what is called skip tracing. Skip tracing is getting the numbers. And you literally just call these people and say, hey, are you interested in selling? It's that simple. Like, you can be in your couch. You came to me for the notary. Where was I working? In my kitchen. Yeah. Most of my team is virtual. They're in the Philippines closing deals. Yeah. It's that simple. Like, I could also, the beauty about those new applications right now is I can drive for dollars virtually while I'm sitting in my couch here and drive for dollars in Texas. Virtually. Through the app. Scrolling through the street, taking addresses and calling those addresses. So I don't need to be married to one market. But the bottom line, if you want to start today, you say, hey, okay, I'm talking to the person. I don't have money. I want to build my capital. Okay? Because it's one or two things. You cannot be broke and not have time. It's either you have money or you have the time. Okay. So for me, I was broke, so I had to put in the time and the sweat equity.